All right, folks, what is going on? This is episode 787 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here, we talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. But there's going to be a lot of Georgia Southern talk for the rest of the week because there's a lot that's been going on for the past, 4 or 5 days that I kind of missed out on. Apparently, our OC and our DC, our defensive coordinator, both had interviews. I'm going to have to go look at those and recap those. Also, the spring practice has been schedule has been released, and on top of that, we had 2 new transfers that came in that just came across the wire this past 3 or 4 or 5 days. So there's a lot that's gonna be talked about. So if you've been listening to a lot of Atlanta Falcons stuff, that stuff's gonna be pushed to the side unless something extremely huge happens. And if it does, it's gonna be a part of the show. But Georgia Southern's gonna be to the forefront for the rest of the week. So definitely stay tuned if you're an Eagles fan. And we're just going to go from there. If this is your first time here, welcome. I could be found on YouTube and Rumble. I'm also on Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. If you want to just watch the show in its entirety, you can watch the show on Rumble. But the audio side of the show is also on YouTube and Apple. Spotify has the visual side as well, so if you want to watch there. If you can follow me on X at VF Baller, that'd be much appreciated. Definitely will be awesome if you follow me over there. Also, firstandframerates.com is the website if you want to listen to the podcast as well. And finally, if you want to support the show, CashApp and PayPal links are below. Let's just get right into this. Spring practice. So this is like, the unofficial beginning of the new football season, 2024-2025. And it's happening today on the 19th. That's the first day of spring practice. So that is pretty awesome that we're going to have spring practice already on point and already to the forefront. Now, there are some days on here I would definitely love to try to attend. I said this for the last couple of years. I want to attend. I haven't been to one in 2 years. But something always have been coming up. My schedule's been pretty busy. I haven't had the chance to make it down to Statesboro. Like last year, I was in the process of moving back to the Atlanta area, so there was no way I was gonna be able to make it down there prior to that. But I'm a little bit settled this time around. Maybe I'll be able to run down there on one of these Saturdays and see a spring practice. Hopefully, if things go well, that may be the case. I'm not 100% sure. But we'll just see. I'll just let you guys know if something comes up, if I be down there, because I really want to see what we do. Obviously, the game, I want to say that's the spring game on the 20th of April. That's one place I definitely want to get to. I wasn't able to make it last year. Same reason, like I said earlier. Like I said, I'm a little more established now. Got my footing into what I'm doing here in Atlanta, or I'm not moving stuff into the house. So this could be a possibility. So let's look at this spring practice and what does it mean? First and foremost, tomorrow, you're probably going to get an idea of who possibly could be the quarterback going forward. I mean, is it an open competition? If it is, between now and a month from now, I'll be like on the 20th, or maybe even on the 18th of April, you would know who's going to be playing the most or who's going to be playing with the first team in spring practice. So that's going to be an indication. So I don't know, you're going to find out this week or even the following, week. But I think around the beginning of April, you're probably going to get an idea, because that's the biggest thing right now. We kind of got an idea of where everybody else is going to be on the roster. But ever since Davis Brin left, and he's graduated and his eligibility is up, we don't know who's the quarterback going to be. You like I said, you got 4 or 5 different quarterbacks here that Coach Clay Helton have that actually could be the quarterback. I mean, anybody from Davis Dallas all the way up to Colton Fitzgerald, even Dexter Jackson. I think his name is Dexter Jackson. Dexter Williams. Man, I had that all wrong. Either one of them, could be is it Williams? Man, whoever it is, I'm sorry, I could be wrong. I'm not good with names, but nevertheless, any of these guys, J.C. French could be the quarterback going forward, starting. So, and another thing, like I said, this past weekend we just had a couple of interviews. Ryan Applin is the OC, and they had an interview with him, and I didn't read the interview. I skimmed through it because it's very long, and there wasn't much talk about the quarterback. It was a question asked about it, but it wasn't nothing significant. So I don't know where that's going to go. But like I said, later on in this week, we will definitely talk about that. So 5 practices going in from the 19th to the 28th, and then come back on the 30th through the 9th. You're going to have 5 more practices then, and the 11th through the 20th. You're going to have 4 practices and then the spring game. Now, I don't know which of these which of these practices are actually going to be scrimmages, because I know they usually have like 2 scrimmages prior to the spring game. So whenever that information comes up, I'm definitely going to pass that on and give you my thoughts. Hopefully we can get some things going with this team where this team could be a little bit more efficient with, moving the ball. I mean, last year we were capable of moving the ball, but we were just turning the ball over a little bit too much. And it got to the point where it kind of ended our season, to be honest. One thing I would like to see, whoever's the quarterback, just having them to take care of the ball. I have no doubt on the running backs. They're going to be able to run the ball pretty well. The offensive line is not as good as it was 2 years ago, but I think it'll be good enough for us to move the ball. Also our receivers, Dalen Cobb and company, those Durham Burgess, they're going to be back. Plus we got the receiver from Oklahoma, the 4-star recruit. He's going to be playing. I want to know where he's going to fit in as well. Couple of tight ends coming in. One from transfer from Auburn. Want to see how that plays out. Are they going to get the playing time? Is it going to be a situation like it was with Keaton Upshaw, where you had to wait till like the second or third game of the season? You're not going to know any of that now, but hopefully it won't be a situation like that where we'll see them play day one. Both of the transfers, the offensive transfers. We got 2 more transfers coming in for the team. What we think about, Devon Hicks and Bryce Bernard, would like to see what they're going to do. Bryce Bernard is a long snapper, so that's basically going to be one of the guys that's, playing special teams, obviously. Devon Hicks, linebacker, is going to be a rotation, because we got like 5 or 6, maybe up to 8 linebackers that come in and rotate in and out. And that goes back to Coach Bailey, how he's going to run the defense. To interview out with him as well, I will be covering that later on this week as well. So, like I said, what's coming down the pipe for you guys is, like, we're talking about the spring practice now, because it's going to be a lot there. Then we're going to turn around. I'm going to try to get the OC episode in, then the DC episode in. May talk about a little bit of these transfers, and just maybe some feedback, if I get any feedback about the spring practice, to round everything out. So that's basically what we're looking at when it comes to the spring season, or the spring practice of Georgia Southern. What's going to happen going forward, and also the content that is happening. It's a lot going on in Georgia Southern, and with the signing of Kirk Cousins and all these other signings that we got in the Falcons, this kind of got pushed to the back burner, where in most cases, a lot of people look over here to this podcast as somewhat of a Georgia Southern podcast, which is kind of like a mix between both. Try to give 50-50, attention to both teams, because they're my favorite football teams, but there's just not much going on with Georgia Southern at one point. Then all the stuff happened with the Falcons, and I had to go double back and look, like, wait a minute, spring practice is about to start for Georgia Southern, and they had, some guys from the staff was speaking out as far as their, the interviews, and we got some more transfers coming in. It's like, it's so much has been going on, and I kind of, I guess you can say I was kind of blindsided about it, because at the end of the day, I want to be, giving you guys the information when it comes. And like on Monday, I just saw it. Everything just flooded out, today. So I was like, okay, now I see what's going on here. Maybe I need to make an episode about this. I know I need to make an episode about this, and I need to talk about all the other stuff. So it's kind of a cluster of a lot of things going on, with Georgia Southern and with the changes with the Falcons. It's a lot going on, but nevertheless, you got a lot to be proud about, a lot to be excited about, I would say, when it comes to the spring practice, because, man, you got to think about it. This is year 3 of Coach Clay Helton. I'm going to be honest. I look at the schedule, And I know I'm probably being very generous. I mean, I got a lot of feedback. A lot of people telling me, look, that 7 wins is not enough. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. I understand why people would think 7 wins is not enough, but um I'm gonna be a little bit lenient because 8 wins was way too high, and they end up getting 6 the first 2 years. Okay, let's get one more win. Now I would love to get 8, but I'll say right now I'll give them 7. Will 7 be enough? Well, if 7 is the bowl game and you win a bowl game, I can live with that. But that's the minimum. You know, that's the minimum. I prefer to get a Sun Belt title, but you can't go lower than 7 wins. You got to get at least 7. You go lower than 7 wins, a lot of things is going to be questioned at that point. But like I said, it all starts here. It all starts with spring practice. It all starts with the coaching philosophy that we hear about, you know, from the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator. What's going to happen when Coach Clay Helton comes, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be interviewing at some time too. When what is he going to say? You know, so it's a lot to talk about here. So we're going to get more information as we come, definitely with the next, 14, practices that we have, or I'll say X amount of ones. I know we're going to have 2 scrimmages. So I'll say 12, practices, 2 scrimmages, and 1, spring game. I'm really interested to see what they got to say and what's going to happen. So I'm really looking forward to that. And hopefully you guys are too. So if you like this commentary, hit the like button, share this podcast, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know what you guys think about, the spring practice and what the Eagles are going to do. I think these guys could, really make some noise. I mean, I know a lot of teams here are moving and shaking. James Madison is not what they used to be. Appalachian State is always going to be who they are. Georgia State got a new coach. Our schedule is not the best. I mean, it's kind of tough. You got Boise State, Ole Miss. You do got Appalachian State at home. So that's a plus. But we're just going to see how this all plays out. So hopefully it'll work out that way. But it all starts with the spring practice. I can be found once again on the YouTube and Rumble, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Follow me on X at VFBaller. The website is firstandframerates.com. And if you want to support the show, CashApp and PayPal links are below. You guys enjoy the rest of y'all day. I'll have more Georgia Southern content for you guys because it's been lacking, but it's a lot on the table now. So we'll talk about that and we'll go from there. All right, y'all. Y'all take it easy and y'all be blessed. Peace.